Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Summer School. Today, we are here with an amazing guest from all the way across the world, Joshua Huggett. Yeah?
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
That's not bad.
Um, yeah?
That's pretty
Good.
good.
Um, Most of you might know who he is. He is very popular online in the social media space, in my opinion, and I don't want to say that's the only thing you're good at or anything like that. But he is very maybe controversial, posting reels with him maybe I don't know, cussing with a couple and saying maybe provocative things. I'm kind of summing this up for you guys, but honestly, if you know him, you know him. And if you don't, you probably should. But I'm going to let him introduce himself because I know that there's probably so much more that we're going to find out about him outside of that. But his social media presence is really cool as a wedding photographer because I feel like it goes to show that you can genuinely be whoever you want to be and still be successful in the wedding industry. So I think this talk will be really just awesome to find out about that journey and how you ended up in weddings when maybe what you're doing and who you are might be a little bit against the grain of what the normal might be, you know?
Yeah.
But why don't you tell us about yourself?
I would argue straight out of the gate that being 100% yourself, regardless of who you are, is what will attract couples. So
Mhm.
there are so many people, and I see it all. This is just a pre-warning to everybody outside of Australia. I'm gonna swear a lot, so this might not be an episode to listen with your kids in the car unless they edit it all out. But there are so many people online that they try really fucking hard to be what they see online and fit into the wedding photographer aesthetic. So they're making dancing reels when they're not a dancing person, and then
Mhm.
you're never actually portraying your actual self. So I like that people are like, oh, he's so authentic, he's so himself, and I'm like, yeah, that's why we're successful, is because we actually put that into the ethos. But anyway, I'm sure we'll talk about that heaps. My name's Josh. I'm a wedding photographer from Adelaide, South Australia, which is in the middle of Australia, but down the bottom. I've been doing wedding photography seriously since 2017. Before that, I did photography in high school, but I really hated it, and I used somebody else's answers to cheat so that I could pass. I did 11 years in aged care, which is where all of my uh, personable skills come. So everything that we do on a wedding day is based on building interactions and building relationships with our couples and the people in the room, and a lot of that comes from aged care. But yeah, we shoot too many weddings a year down here in Australia, and now we travel all around Australia and the world, telling people where to go and what to do. It's good fun.
When you say we at this point in your career, are you having an associate team or do you just classify yourself as a we? I don't know. I use the verbiage us sometimes, even though it's really just me.
So
But
we've had associates since 2020, since COVID. Essentially, I got bullied into it by the couples that booked me. They booked me, and then they had to rejig it because weddings got cancelled and the whole world shut down. And then I would be booked out, and they're like, "Oh, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't help you. I'm booked out that day. We'll give you your deposit back or whatever." And then they were like, "No, you need to find someone. We want to go through you. We love you." And I was
yeah.
like, "Yeah, but I'm busy." And they were like, "No, just find someone. We trust you." And then, so I had to give away my first wedding to an associate shooter, and I started training up teams. And now we're here. We do 125 a year in Adelaide. Uh,
Holy
and then
smokes.
now, so we stopped that. So there's a whole thing of there was all under the Joshua Huggett Media brand, and then I essentially became too big for my britches. I'm a personality now, I guess. And then I would send some of my other photographers like Neil, and Neil's just a really nice guy. He's just really pleasant to be around, and he takes
But that's
amazing
not why
photos.
people were hiring
And
you.
no, they were like, "Why isn't he telling us to get fucked?" Or on the opposite, Neil would turn up to a wedding day and they're all rambunctious and "G'day, Neil, how the fuck you going? Blah, 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 blah." And he's just like, "Oh, good morning, guys. How are you?" And so there
He's
was
like, "I don't know about this."
a disconnect. So we've rebranded the associate. So they have their own little company now called the Candid Company. And we go and just have fun, and that's all over there now.
I was literally about to ask, so did you just find people like you? Because you seem kind of rare, and I feel like people at this point would probably hire you for that personality.
Yeah, it's weird now. It's definitely a weird thing because I've always been the same way. Like I've always shot weddings exactly the same way. I've always done the same thing. I just decided to start filming it. And I originally started filming it to get less leads. So we were getting lots of leads. And I was like, surely if I put out some videos on the internet of me telling a whole bridal party to fuck off, nobody will book me. Like only the people. So our entire marketing scheme, our entire marketing what's it like plan, I guess the word is based on getting as little leads as possible, but getting the most qualified leads by the time they actually hit our contact form.
Mhm.
So like our website is set up as a funnel essentially where everybody lands at the top of the funnel and then we want people to leave as they go down the website. So we put in quotes and we've got like gifs and stuff on our website that other people wouldn't do. It's black straight out of the gate because if you're watching the video version of this, my entire ethos is black. But we want everybody to leave. So if we're running ads of us telling the bridal party to fuck off or running around, because we wear shorts and a t-shirt to a wedding as well. Like we're not dressing up in a suit, which is going to annoy a
Mm.
lot of the American audience because it already does. But um, it's just like it's okay in Australia to do that. Just everybody in the world.
Well,
It's
I feel like at the same time, if someone like you popped up in America, I think it would be okay in America too. We
yeah,
just haven't had someone do it, you
yeah.
know?
Well, just no one. Yeah, I don't understand why you guys are so uptight about it. Like we're working and it's a branded T-shirt. Like it's got our logo on it and it says that we're the photographer. Uh, it's like we literally wear the T-shirt so that people can find us in the crowd and be like,
Mm.
"Hey, there's this happening. Can you take a photo of it?" And then we get the photo.
You know what's funny is I just had a, like, luxury educator on, and I don't know whose episode is airing first, but for everyone listening, Chris Evans just had him on too, and he wears, like, full tuxedo. So, like, the polar opposite, you know what I mean? I'm not saying either is right or wrong, just 2 different brands, you know?
Mm.
But I mean, it's cool too for people who might think like, "Oh, I feel like I have to wear the tuxedo and I have to go to these crazy events and I have to like wear black tie attire and like wear heels to a wedding." Oh my god. I literally heard someone say in the luxury industry like I need to wear heels and I was like, "I don't even wear heels in my personal life. If I tried to
Mm.
wear heels and shoot a wedding, I would fall over. Like it would not work." Oh gosh.
I
But
didn't
it's
even get
cool.
married in a
Like,
suit. I got
oh, that's
married in chinos
amazing.
and a button up.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
So, how did you end up in weddings? Like, how did that progression get there? Like, what were you shooting and what made you think, okay, my personality, I want to be myself, but even being myself, like, I'm curious, like, what led you to weddings of all types of shooting?
So there wasn't a single part of my body that wanted to be a wedding photographer at all. I saw them online, I'd seen them at weddings, and I was like, that sucks. Like, I don't want to wear a suit and like run around because it gets to like 40 degrees in Australia. So it like 40 degrees Celsius, which is like
I know I was doing the math. You probably saw me blink out for a
it's like
second.
it's like
Probably over
100 and
100.
something over there.
Yeah.
But it gets like really, really hot, and we're working all day. And I was like, I couldn't imagine anything worse than wearing a suit and going to take photos at weddings because like
Mhm.
that sucks. And then my auntie bullied me into my first wedding. She didn't really bully me; she kind of just like volunteered me for my first wedding. Um, Before that, I was taking videos and photos of abandoned buildings and like doing YouTube walkthroughs of abandoned buildings and that sort of stuff here in Adelaide. And then I went the standard route that I think most photographers go, in that like you get a hobby that you really enjoy, which is like photography and videography, and then you start doing it and you're like, wow, this is great. And then you go, oh, gear's heaps expensive. I need to start making some money with this hobby of mine so that I can buy some more gear. So I started shooting events, like I did some 21sts and some 30ths and some engagement parties, just like everybody else does. And then my auntie was like, "Oh, you like taking photos? My friend's getting married. I said that you would do the photos for her for free." And I was like, "Cool, man. Sounds good." There was like 6 hours out of Adelaide in a camping spot. It was a place called the Flinders Ranges. If you've got time, Google it. It's very, very pretty.
Mm.
Imagine like the Grand Canyon, but heaps smaller and in Australia.
Mm.
So there's like kangaroos and everything like popping around, and you're in like red
Ooh,
dirt and all the cool
that's
stuff.
cool.
But it was out there. She's like, I'll pay for your campsite. Just come camping for the weekend. Take some photos of the wedding. And I was like, yeah, great. That sounds all right. And then I turned up and they did like a I call it a foot ceremony, but it's not a foot ceremony. An earthing ceremony, where you take your shoes off and you like go into the soil so that your body and the earth is like, and it was sick. And then we just sat around and like had a really relaxed tea and took some photos. And I was like, oh, this actually wasn't that bad. I wonder if there's if there's a market for this. And then I came back to Adelaide. Just happened that like a few weeks after that, my colleague at the nursing home, her wedding photographer cancelled on her. And she's like, oh,
Mm.
Josh, you do photos. Can you do it? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I can do it. I've got experience now. I'm a wedding photographer. And then I said, like, what's your budget? Like, how much were you spending? She's like, oh, $1,500. And I was like, oh, that's my budget. That's how much I cost. And then, so we went and did that, but I didn't have enough experience. Like, even I knew, and this stresses me out about new photographers, is where they just go and take on weddings by themselves. But I knew that, like, this wasn't just a camping wedding. This was like a bigger event. Like, this was
Yeah.
an actual wedding. So I knew that I probably wasn't qualified to take the photos. So this is something sneaky that people can do if you're starting out and you're a little bit scared, is I just hired a second shooter
That was
that was
good.
heaps better than me.
Yeah.
Way better than me. And then when they turned up on the wedding day, I was like, hey man, I just want to be able to test to see if you're any good. You take the lead. I'll take my photos, but you take the lead. So I sent like 90% of their gallery and then a few of my photos on top, but I watched them.
I'm dead. That's hilarious.
I did that for
Even
3
from the
weddings.
beginning, mischievous. That's
Ooh,
crazy.
well, I just kind of feel like it was more of I think it's self-awareness. Like,
Oh, yeah.
if I was I was shooting on a Canon 80D with for the Canon users, which is like a crop, like basic entry level camera with a kit lens, and that was pretty much it. And I
Well,
bought
and
a
like,
nifty 50.
if you're paying the person and they agree to the payment, who cares?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
that was the
That's
job.
amazing.
They were a hired
I
contractor.
definitely had higher, like more experienced second shooters than myself, obviously, when I was starting to, because went from I'd never shot a wedding to I'm shooting weddings. The first wedding I booked was like $2,500. And I'd like second shot one wedding like 4 years ago, you know? So I kind of just leapt in as well. And yeah, definitely some of my second shooters were like way more experienced than I was. But at the end of the day, I think like, yeah, it just, you evolve, you grow. Like it's just comes with the territory. You have to start somewhere, And you would hope when you're first starting that your second shooter isn't worse than you.
Mm.
Yeah.
But
But
even then, even now, like, I'm not the best photographer. I'm never going to claim to be the best photographer. There's no way that I'm ever winning a photography award. I take good photos and I take fun photos that tell the story of the day, but I am not the best photographer. But that means sweet FA. So long as you take good photos and the couple are feeling comfortable, then it doesn't really matter who takes the photos, or so long as the end product is there. So at the start, the photos from the second shooter were better than mine because they had better gear and they were a better photographer. But I was really good at making my couples feel comfortable, and that's why they
mhm,
hired us, is because they wanted to feel comfortable on their wedding day.
yeah.
Now it's switched and I take the photos and we just have a videographer. But like at that starting area, it's more about making people feel comfortable so that they get the good photos. Because you could have, and I say this in all of my Zoom calls as well, you could have the best photographer in the entire world come and shoot your wedding day, but if he's a fuckhead, that's all you're going to remember. Every time you look at
Yeah.
those photos, you're going to remember how stressed out you were, how annoyed you were that you had to like move your hands in a certain way. Like, if you're not having fun and you're not vibing, that's all you're
Mhm.
going to remember. It happened in our wedding photos. Like, my wife, like, I was lucky because I just had my friend there and I was just fucking around,
Mm.
but she wanted to go back to the reception. So there's a definite cutoff point in the photos that we were taking, that they're great photos, but she doesn't like them as much because she was over it and
Didn't
she
wanna be
wanted to go
there.
back.
Yeah. I remember with our wedding, it was just like a 12-person elopement, but getting ready, technically, my associate was just shooting the digitals and I was gonna edit it. I say was because I literally got married a year and a half ago or more, and and I haven't edited them. So maybe it's a bad idea to do that. But my associate shot the wedding, so she was there just hanging out all day, and then we hired film photographers to like do like the main photography. And he came with like him, an assistant, and another person, and this is like a small 12-person elopement. I love him, but I was like kind of stressed, you know? And so I just said like, I don't want photos, like leave me alone. And it was good. Literally no one took photos of me in the morning, which is what I wanted. And I'm so glad that I said that, because if someone was just hanging out with me all morning while I look like half put together and like emotional, like I wouldn't have cared for the photos, because genuinely like, but I think most clients wouldn't tell a photographer to leave, you know?
Mm.
Like I feel like the only reason I did was because I was friends with the dude, and I knew him personally. Like we had shot together like 3 or 4 times. We've been friends for years. So, yeah, I think it's always good, even like with our weddings. I try on purpose to normally enter like without gear on my body, because it's just like you don't want to come in there and just like overwhelm people at any point of the day. But you probably feel it with your teams too, to hire like, to me, personality. If you're trying to hire teams, maybe sometimes, in my opinion, maybe more important than talent and skill.
Mm. So and I get fucking roasted online for it because we don't bring second shooters. I don't bring a second
Really?
videographer. I don't bring a second photographer. It's just me and a videographer. And in Australia, that's pretty normal. That like
Hmm.
everything that we do isn't that uncommon here in Australia. It's just like
Yeah.
pretty standard practice. But over, I don't know, like 60% of my audience is American. So a lot of them get really upset. But we don't bring extra people because it just adds extra stress. The more
Yeah.
I feel like the more professionals that are like running around and fluffing and trying to take photos and stuff, the more anxious people are going to be. We turn up, we only do 10-hour days, sometimes more, but we don't do any less than 10 because we go to the boys in the person one in the morning, which is typically a boy. We do the boys getting ready for an hour. We get their photos, and then they can just get undressed again and
Yeah.
do whatever they want to do with the wedding day. They can go to the pub. They can go play footy outside. They can just do whatever. They've had their photos, like they're done. And with the boys, it's all about high energy and trying to get as much banter going as possible. We find like the shortest person in the bridal party that we can make fun of. We just like figure out where our banter levels are, and we can do that really quickly in like an hour. And then we don't
Mm.
stress them out too much, because all the boys, like every time you go to a boys getting ready in the morning, none of them want you there ever.
Yeah.
Like they're always like, oh yeah, Georgie, she wants these photos. Like, oh yeah, you probably don't need to take much. And I'm like, don't worry, we'll figure it out. Like we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then we just do it really quickly, like rip the band-aid off. So that way they've already got the expectation, like, oh, these guys aren't going to make us hang around for ages and take heaps of photos. We'll do it really, really quickly. And then with the girls, we come in just with like our backpacks on, because I've got the like camera backpacks, like no gear out. And we tell them like, we're not taking any photos of you for like at least half an hour because we're doing details. So
Mhm.
that's when we do the dress, the rings, the shoes, and all that sort of stuff. And the girls is more like storytelling based relationship building, where we kind of like, they're normally sitting in a hair and makeup chair, which I don't want any photos of you without your hair and makeup done. Like I want the finishing touches. So it's normally about talking to them while they're in the hair and makeup chair and talk about the day, or find a wedding story that kind of like fits in with the vibe of like what's happening on the day. And it's like a completely different banter building, but we figure out who's a little bit jokey and like, and then that transfers into the rest of the day. But yeah, no second shooters.
See, in my opinion, with our business specifically, so Jake, my husband, as of right now, he works full time with me. So technically it's like a team. It's just only me like online.
Yeah.
Um, he might be leaving soon, but I don't know. That hasn't been discussed like officially yet, but maybe happening in the next 6 months. As of now, he is my second shooter, has been for like 3 to 5 years. The only one I've ever used, I will say. I'm shooting film and digital, so I'm sometimes balancing like 5 cameras. It's helpful to have someone else on digital. But on the side of men, like I haven't seen the guys getting ready in quite some time, and he does it. And I'm like, man, when I do go down there and try, they just like freeze up and they're like, okay, what do you want, miss? But with him, they're just like hanging out, having a good time. taking shots, do whatever, just being dudes. And
Mm,
those photos to me are like so much more fun. And I'm like, honestly, like if I did have to hire a second when he left, I think I might want it to be a guy. I think it's just like a woman thing. Like the girl with the big camera comes down and now I have to like be prim and proper, you know? But when he walks down there, they're just like hanging out
mm.
and the photos are always better. Like I love having him second shoot just shoot the guys in general. I'd say we're almost more of a team than like a second shooter. Uh, so I don't know what I'll do if he leaves, but I think in that instance, appreciate having like a guy on my team in that sense.
So we have the opposite because when we go to the girls, like sometimes I have second shooters or I have students come with me as well.
Mhm.
And if they're girls, they just go straight into the girl mode, and
Yeah.
it's all girly, clicky, fucking like gay
Yeah.
sissy. Like I don't know what happens. I don't understand what happened. Like whereas me and Lewis, like because my videographer's a male as well. Um, oh, and so is Jake, and I don't have any female videographers at the moment. I used to, but I don't have any
Mm.
more. Um, we've got to try really hard with the girls to bring them on
Yeah.
side because, like, I'm 6'6", like I'm not little, and I'm covered head to toe in tattoos. Like, I'm
Yeah.
turning up in shorts, a t-shirt, all black with a big camera bag. I don't look like someone that's going to go and have a powwow about the flowers or like tell people that their makeup slays. But I'll try. I'll give it a
Yeah.
crack.
So fun. Man, well, I wanna segue into some of the social media stuff because you said that even with your abandoned houses, you were, like, posting some of that on YouTube. So it seems like you've been kind of in the social media sphere probably for quite some time. But did anything click in your mind where you're like, "I wanna try this. Like, I wanna start posting this stuff online?" Or I know you said it was kinda to try and wean people out, but in the sense of, like, genuine just content creation, was it something you were into, or was it something that genuinely fell into your lap from posting a video and you're like, "Holy, this just, like, took off."
So I've been making content online since Tumblr.
Wow.
I am like an OG content creator. Never with always with a little bit of success, but never with with the amount that I've got now. Like,
Hmm.
we built a pretty big. So I've been vegan for like 15 years now. So I was in that first original wave of people. Like, do you remember when it was publicly acceptable to just like bully vegans and like you could just yell at them on the street? I was in
No.
that wave of like it was okay to like bully people. So I was on like the opposite where I had like a blog about animal rights and all this sort of stuff, and that got a bit of a following. And um, from that pivoted into Facebook when Facebook originally took off, and we built some animal rights Facebook pages that got like I don't know, I think the biggest one got like 80,000 followers at the time, which was pretty cool. Uh, and then I kind of stopped. Like I had a big I can't be bothered. But I've always been creating like YouTube videos and like something like just creating's always been, and I think that's why wedding photography sort of just became my job because I'm still creating every single day. I'm just creating wedding photos. Like every time I was at my job, all I was thinking about or trying to like secretly do at work is just like make stuff, like make content, make websites, make online stores, like make something that's my own that I can put all of my energy into. Uh, but then we made a really conscious effort, and this is something that I talk about quite a bit, but I don't see anybody else talking about at all. We made a really conscious effort to not grow any followers on Instagram because we had 3,500 and I was happy
Hmm.
at 3,500. So there's a whole psychology behind people going to your Instagram. Like, so many people think like, oh, you know, I need to get famous to book heaps of weddings. Like, I need 10K, I need 15K, I need 20K. And then people will, accept me and people will be like, I want to book him.
Hmm.
It does the opposite, technically. There's always
No,
going to
yeah.
be, I remember when I booked my wedding, because like I wasn't like an influencer or anything when I got married, I was looking at wedding photographers online. And if I went to their Instagram account and they had like 15,000 followers, there was a hesitation in me, like an innate hesitation, like, oh, they're probably too expensive for me,
Or they're booked.
they're probably too booked. I'll go look somewhere else. So we were shooting 125 weddings a year here in Adelaide. Every single weekend, we're shooting up to 6 weddings a weekend. But our follower level stayed completely flat
Hmm.
because we were approachable to anybody that wanted to get married. Now,
Hmm.
if you're a luxury wedding photographer, you're going to need social cred, like you're going to need more. But for just like the average photographer that just wants to go out there and shoot weddings because you just fucking love your job and you want to go take photos, you don't need that many. So we
Hmm.
stayed very, very purposefully at 3,500 followers so that anytime somebody came to our website, or so we had enough social cred that people would book us, like, oh, they know what they're doing. They post every single day and they've got followers, but not so much that people would ever hesitate to actually inquire with us. And then that gave us the selling power to actually book them on the back end and show them how good we actually are. So there's that. That's why we didn't. So you can actually follow my graph on Instagram for like 3 years, and the follower level goes up by like maybe one a month, maybe two a
Hmm.
month, because we didn't use hashtags, we didn't post good reels. We were just like keeping our online portfolio good while we did like Facebook ads and everything behind the scenes and word of mouth to actually book weddings.
Hmm.
And then, now what date was it? I think it was like December 23, 2023. I made a post on my Facebook account and I was like, hey guys, just letting you know, like, because I've always helped people behind the scenes and had students come to weddings. I was like, just letting you know, next year, we're going all in on content creation. We're actually going to build, like, I'm going to go into like education. I'm going to start teaching people properly. And then I gained 10,000 followers in February. And then we just kept
Hmm.
going from there.
Wild. That's literally crazy. I actually love that you brought up that point that more followers doesn't necessarily equate with more bookings, because I honestly think everyone does that doesn't have more followers.
Mm.
And as I was growing in the educational industry, I knew of all these photographers even I had looked up to. And I also knew that like some of them were like having to get second jobs, and this was all like under the radar, and they were educating, but they couldn't book a single like a wedding themselves.
There's somebody
And
that's
I
doing it this year. There's an
like
educator
these
this year
things.
that has no bookings.
Wow.
I'll tell
I
you
always
off
say
recording.
I'll keep it to myself too. I always say like if I'm going to be teaching, I also want to be actively booking. At this point in my career with a newborn child,
Yeah, a bit harder.
that amount of bookings that I want to do is pretty low right now. So it'll be like really attainable. But when it comes to you thinking, like anyone listening, not you, Josh, but for anyone listening, when it comes to you thinking that like more followers will just mean more success, genuinely, there are so many educators in the industry that can barely afford like rent and stuff because they've maybe niched themselves into teaching, but they have no thing they're actually like profiting from in that space, in the teaching space. They're just an influencer, but it's not the easiest thing to make money as just an influencer. Like you need to either be selling products, there needs to be some sort of passive income. But same with what you said was when I heard about these people not getting bookings, but we were doing what was a lot for me, like 40 weddings a year back then. I was like, what do you mean? Like, how are they not booking things? They have submit so much. I think I had like 30,000 followers and it was people that were a lot larger than that back in the day. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, they can't book things. Like, these are the people I looked up to? And some of it is genuinely just that buyer's like confusion. Like, oh, they're so big. Like, they'd be too expensive for
Mm.
me. They never even make it to that person's website to see their rates. Oh, they're so big, they won't have time for me. They won't want to shoot my wedding. Like that's genuinely people think that. And I think it's really fair. Like when I thought of my dream wedding photographer, I didn't ask him how much it cost. I just assumed he would be too much. Now, I do think he would have been too much. But I guess maybe if I had a real wedding, I would have inquired and asked. But, like I never technically sent an email to him
Mm.
because, yeah, I just assumed off the bat I couldn't afford it, which my assumption is pretty accurate. But as a client, maybe that client can afford you, for a lot of those photographers, like, and they're just not even getting the increase, which is interesting. I think it's a dangerous game. I know of an educator who advised other people to educate because it brings them following. And I'm like, okay, if you are not trying to be an educator, that's a bad idea. Because to educate just because it's bringing you followers does not equate with getting you bookings long term. Maybe for like a year, maybe for that year that you're kind of taking off, you get some photographers who book you, because that happened to me. I used to shoot a lot of photographers' weddings, still do to this day. But do not think that is wise advice for the average wedding photographer that just wants to book clients. You do not need to be posting educational posing reels and things like that unless you genuinely want to maybe pivot or pursue maybe a different way of passive income. But
so there's
yeah.
Andrew Keher on Instagram. Andrew K.
Yes.
He's from England.
Yes. I've been DMing him just like you, where I asked him 6 months ago to come on the podcast and I literally ghosted him.
Yeah. But he posted a video just recently of the exact same thing, where he started posting Instagram reels to gain more wedding clients.
Mm-hmm.
And now his entire audience and everything is shifted into education, and he's not getting his wedding leads anymore, which is like his job. That's still his job.
Yeah.
But he's like now in this weird sort of space where he's like got this large following of photographers, but not actually getting any of the leads that he wanted, and not actually posting that much wedding content anymore. So his actual job is now suffering. And it's like, it's a hard thing. And that's where I think our content kind of like works, because we do show posing and stuff, but we show it in a way that both, like most of my
attracts
following
the client as well
is normal people, not photographers. Like I get recognized in the shops. Like I'll go to the shops and people are like, "Oh man, love your videos." And I'm like, "Oh, you a photographer?" And they're like, "Oh, nah, we just really wish we had you as our wedding photographer." Like,
yeah, you're like entertaining.
I'm in this weird fucking space where like I have photographers that follow me, but not as many photographers as like normal people that have nothing to do with weddings, which helps and hinders. Like we get 100 leads a week currently for wedding inquiries, which is great. It's a great problem to have, but like my presets don't sell that well. So what are you gonna do?
I don't know if I've ever mentioned this in the podcast, but I probably have with people I've mentored, because I've tried to. Some people will ask like, "Hey, I think I want to end up educating in some capacity," so I'll like help people try and figure that out. Not that I have all the answers, but also I guess a plug. Literally, my launch mentorships again. So if you're listening to this, feel free to go inquire. But we talk about teaching and things, and in my opinion, and I don't think I've openly talked about this much. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my career so far is the trying to pivot. Like, because I still want to shoot weddings, I still need to market at least some. And because I moved to a new place, so it's like, it's not like there's this like, word of mouth that pre-existed. We just moved here a year and a half ago. But I talk about it like a roller coaster sometimes, and I'm like, it's literally like balancing two businesses at the same time at their peaks, and it's so hard to keep one from like failing. And because your marketing, if you're truly trying to educate well, your marketing should be completely different than how you would market to attract a wedding client. And that balance is really hard. It wasn't until we launched Summer School, which I started it has a separate website, it has a separate Instagram, and I used to just try and keep everything in one. And I was just like, I can't, like, my brain can't compute like what is what, and I still want to shoot weddings. I don't want to only teach. So it kind of helped me now be able to market better, because it has its own identity, like the educational side of my business. But I think for anyone trying to educate, like, that is one of the hardest things, and creds to anyone who's even surviving that's trying to do both, because they are such different like marketing like mindsets that you have to like lock into.
Summer School is also the best name for a fucking mentoring thing.
You're too kind.
I've been thinking about it for like the last 3 days. I'm like, fuck, that's so good. It just works so well. So good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just like in general. But also,
well, and we can have like summer camps then.
Yeah.
Well,
we've had like summer camp. Yeah. It's just so good, because it's so like American audience. That's like, we don't have that over here. But I was like, that's just like, it's just the perfect brand name. It's so good.
There's so many things to do with it. Like, even we have an exclusive version of the podcast that will slowly be growing as the community is growing, called Recess. So it's like you can play off the words very well, which is really fun.
Yeah.
But
But so there's also this whole like would like I could probably pivot into education, but you'd also need to figure out if you would enjoy it, because
Mhm.
I started pivoting into education, started making educational videos and stuff, and I was like, I don't actually know if I like this that much. Like, I really like being a wedding photographer. I
Yeah.
have the best, literally the best job in the world. Just not yesterday, day before yesterday, I was in Melbourne, which is another state here in Australia, and I was in a medieval castle shooting a wed. Like, I got paid to fly to a medieval castle and shoot a wedding where people were all dressed up in medieval costumes, and there was like jousting, and there was like all of this like old folk dancing. Like, it was just fucking ridiculously cool.
I think I saw some of that and I
Yeah.
genuinely was like, "Wait, is this actually real?"
Yeah.
And
And it's just like a real wedding. And they were just like, this is my job. This is what I got paid to go and do.
yeah.
Mike Jeffrey, who followers may know, he's pivoted into education, and now he just like sits in a room by himself all day, and like he's just got this like kind of lone. I was speaking to him yesterday, that's why it's on my head.
Yeah.
But like, you know, you go from like being in what is kind of a very social job where you're out and you're speaking to people and you're meeting guests, and although you are like, they're all temporary relationships because you see them at the end of the day and then you kind of go home, but at least you're out there seeing people. When you pivot purely into education, unless you're hosting a workshop a week, you're literally just going to sit in your office by yourself 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, probably
Working
seven
on an
days a week,
email
let's be
list.
real. um,
Yeah.
and just do nothing. And like, that sucks. Like, I don't like, I like my studio because I can get away from all the noises of home. Like, I got 2 kids, so I can get away from noises and I can just come in here and work. But like, I'll just sit in this dark room by myself for like 10 hours.
Hmm.
I'll edit and then go home and just be dad. And yeah, it's, I like weddings.
Yeah, no, I think that's why I obviously I don't wanna educate if I don't understand the pains of people that are currently actually pursuing bookings, you know? Like, if you don't shoot at all, I think it's hard to stay relevant when it comes to actually giving you can give basic business advice, but to give advice that's, like, in with the times, I
Mm,
think you should be, like, actively booking. But outside of that, I like shooting, and I think weddings are fun. A lot of ours are, like, I only have 1 package and it's up to 12 hours. So, you know, if your wedding day is 9 and you want me at your after party, I'll be there.
mm.
And then the other packages are like day and a half, weekend, whatever. So, I just love, like, being there. Like, I it's a fun time. I've literally, like, driven home a couple till they're, like, Airbnb drunk in my camper van when I had one. Like, I just enjoy I enjoy it, like, genuinely. So, I don't think there's any reality where I want to fully step out of it right now, but with a kiddo, I'm definitely down to travel less. But we live in LA, so there's plenty of weddings happening in Southern
Mm.
California. I don't need to travel anymore. Like, I know it's most photographers' dreams to travel,
It's
but
not that great.
with a 5-month-old, if I can make the same amount of money to drive 10 minutes down the road, why wouldn't I want to do that? And then I can just travel for fun. I don't have
Mm.
to travel like for a wedding and haul all this gear, you know?
Also, traveling for weddings isn't that fun. I do it for
No.
a job. I travel every weekend, like pretty much every weekend, unless I can book. Like, I really incentivize weddings at home, but I'm more often than not traveling around. It's not that great. I know it's
No.
hard, you know, like when people are like, "Oh, you don't want to be," you know, like Jim Carrey made this big thing, and he was like, "You don't want to be famous. Like, it'll ruin your life, but no one will ever know unless you get famous." It's the
Hmm.
same thing with travel weddings. Everyone's like, "Oh, I really want to be a traveling wedding photographer," but then like, it's not that
Then you
great. You're
become
up at,
one and you're like, "This is not that fun."
yeah, no, it's like a 3-day event. I'm sleeping in a shitty hotel. I eat bad food. And then you got to carry the stress of putting all your stuff under the plane. And then, yeah. But
Yeah.
some of them can be fun, like a medieval wedding. But uh, yeah, that's a
I'm
whole.
down to, like, if I can drive, that's great. If I could drive there, even if it's 4 hours away, I'll drive there, but we fly with the baby because I'm still trying to do the whole breast milk thing as long as physically I can, like, mentally keep myself doing it. With 12-hour days, it just gets really complicated for everyone involved.
Mm.
But we currently fly the whole fam. My mom lives on the opposite side of America in a state called Georgia. Don't know if you've been here. So, she lives
I've
in
done
Georgia.
the like the big ones like LA, San Fran, New York, and Vegas.
Atlanta is in Georgia, but not near any of the ones you listed. But so she flies all the way from Georgia and just meets us. Like, I just pay for her to travel, and she's like, "Hey, it's a free trip to see the grandbaby." I'm like, "Great," because a nanny would cost a lot. But yeah, that's currently our life, and I'm like, I am down to just shoot in Southern California. I don't need to get on another plane.
Mm.
But yeah, it's also a luxury. So when I say that, everyone listening, it's cool that people care enough about our work to pay us to fly. Like, that is an honor, and you know. But anyways,
When someone asks you, so I get this a lot when I go to
yeah,
a wedding day, and they're like, "Oh, why would they fly you from Adelaide to here?" What's your response? Because I don't have one.
I
I
don't
might just steal yours.
I don't know if I get I mean, oftentimes I feel like people just assume that the couple, like, went to college with you, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then when they ask, like, "Oh, how'd they find you?" And I'm like, "Social media." And they're like, "Oh." And then, like, "You flew here? You
yeah.
do that?" And I'm like, "Every weekend." Not really, but, just like, yeah, that's just kinda like what we do. Maybe it's more common in America because no one asks what you ask. Like, I think they're just like, "Oh, wow, okay, yeah, the couple yeah." You know
I
what I mean?
literally
Like, I
had
don't
someone come
know.
up to me and be like, "Why would they hire you over somebody that lives here?"
You're like,
I'm
"Because I'm
like,
cool."
"I don't know, man. I'm bigger than them. I'm taller. I don't know."
Oh, you're like, "'Cause they wanted to."
Yeah, because no one else will tell you
Yeah,
to get fucked.
honestly.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
I wanna just, like, attend one of the weddings you shoot and just, like, watch this happen so that I can, just observe. I'm sure you get comments like that all the time, like, "This would be fun just to, like, watch him shoot a wedding." I
Yeah.
mean, we kind of are through your social media, I guess. Do you have any, like, full behind the scenes kind of videos already out to the public or just in general?
I
Like
think I've got 4 on YouTube. My plan this year was to film one for every single wedding that we did,
hmm,
but then I just couldn't be fucked. I
I
think
need
I've
to go
got
watch one
3
of those.
filmed and just not edited because I do all of the social media editing. Uh,
Mm,
Everything else I have a team for. Like we got an editing team, we got a video editing team, we got an admin person. So I literally got myself to the point that I didn't really need to do all that much anymore in my business. I brought on people to help me, which is something that no enough people do. Nobody,
true.
especially photographers, nobody outsources anything, but we do. I'll outsource anything that I possibly can, especially because like you got to put a dollar value on your time. So like whatever you think it is worth to edit a video, like what's your hourly rate? I can pretty much guarantee that there's somebody out there that can do it better than you for cheaper than what you're valuing your own time at.
Mhm.
And I figured that out pretty quickly when I brought on a video editor who was leaps and bounds better than me. And it just freed up so many hours of my life to do other stuff. But I'd gotten myself to a point that, like, I have a photo editor now because he's a better photo editor than me. I have video editor now because he's a better video editor than me. I have an admin person because I just cannot be fucked making blog posts and answering the same email every day. Um, but I didn't really need to do all that much. I was just kind of like hanging out here. I would just work on marketing and stuff. And now that we do social media, I'm back to editing full time because I don't trust anybody to do my reels. Or so we post 2 reels a day, every single day for almost
Holy
2 years.
smokes.
Uh, that's all me, baby. And
That's
then
crazy.
yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Do you ever feel like you run dry of ideas, or because most of it is behind the scenes, you're always, as long as you're shooting, you have fresh content to
That's
post?
I literally I was when someone like when a footy team or something like a sports team they play a game and then they go back and rewatch the game to
Mhm.
like see where they could learn. I film on my 360 camera the entire wedding day and then I
Wow.
go back and rewatch it and I'm looking for
And
clips.
you just find the cool things.
Yeah. It's getting easier, like because and people that have shot more than one wedding, probably I'd say more than 8 weddings, you'll know you say pretty much the same thing at every wedding day. Those first few weddings, you're still
Yeah.
trying to find your feet, but after you've shot a few, your script is pretty much the same. So I know the points of the day that I can kind of flick to, and there'll be fun stuff in there. And then like we just kind of watch the bridal party session from start to finish, and because they're mental over here, they're like we only do them at sunset with the whole bridal party. Everybody's normally quite intoxicated. We're throwing people in the air. We're fucking like building human pyramids. We're popping bottles of champagne and anything we can possibly do. Shoeies galore. And then you
What's a
just got to try to
shui?
find the shoeies where you pour your beer into your shoe and you drink it out of that.
Oh, oh.
That's very Australian.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
Wow. So what would you say is like the main difference between the American and Australian market in your opinion? And have you shot in America yet?
I've shot in Peru, which is South America. I said that in a comment, and everyone was like, "That's not America."
Yeah.
It was full of Americans. It was at
Yeah.
it was actually at the aftershoot retreat. I don't know who you're
Oh,
affiliated
yeah.
with, but it was at the aftershoot retreat in Peru. So I shot Kayla's wedding over there, and that was great.
That's awesome.
I think no, word this carefully, Josh. I think just in general, America needs to loosen the fuck up. Just as a whole. Like, just calm down a little bit. Have a little bit more fun in life. Like,
Yeah.
especially in weddings. Like, I see so many comments from like my followers and people that don't even follow me, like, this would never happen at an American wedding. And I'm like, why the fuck not? It's so much fun. Like,
I'm sure there's like a whole underbelly that would love if someone like you existed in America.
Mm.
That's not to
We
say
get a
there's
lot of
like
requests
not
to go
fun
to America.
people. Yeah. I'm actually surprised you've not shot in America, but I mean, what is that? Like a 2-day travel day? That would be
Yeah, it's like 30
intense.
something hours flying. But
You like
normally
time
when you guys
travel.
ask me to come to America, I've already got weddings here. Like I'm booked out 2
Mm.
years in advance in Australia. So it's and in America, you guys book a wedding like a year in advance. So
Well, even I'd say sometimes even less these days for me. Like some of my bookings are like 5 months out.
yeah, no, that doesn't happen here. I'm 2 years in advance.
That's
And even then, like
crazy.
I've got wedding bookings for 2028.
Oh my
So
God. I don't want to think about what my life will be in 2028.
see, I like because my wife we're blessed that she can stay home and look after our kids, and my daughter's just started school. My son's about to turn 2. My life at home is pretty autonomous at this point. We wake up, we do school drop off, I come to work. So I pretty much know with quite a bit of certainty what I'm doing in 2028. It's
And you're
going to be
good
the
till
same thing.
2028.
My
Yeah.
kids
That's
will be
great
in
though.
school. I'll be working to make money. My wife may be back at work. She may not be back at work, but I really, really enjoy knowing that I can pay my bills in 3 years. Love that.
That is, yeah, that is nice. I would say, in my opinion, so in the American industry, which I don't know, it could be similar in Australia. I have no idea. I would say in general, from what I've noticed just in my career, which maybe the economy, maybe things have changed this, but I would say it's equated with money. The more expensive I got, the less time spent in the inquiry process. So like when I was more affordable, people were probably booking me out like a year and a half in advance. Still not as long as 2 years. But then as my price went up some, it got a lot less. And I think it's mainly to do with the fact that like when there is, say, a full service planner, these weddings are happening so much faster because the planner just like gets it done. They have the budget, they want the vision, and they want it now, and it's over, and you might not even talk to the couple.
Hmm. We
So
don't
I
have
feel like
planners
weddings
here.
just happen faster.
We don't have wedding planners in Australia. I think there's like
See,
8.
if a couple's planning it themselves, then I feel like that takes so much longer than a planner who's just gonna whip together something in like 4 months, you
Yeah.
know?
So there are some wedding planners in Australia, but
Mm.
95% of weddings we all organise ourselves.
So as far as marketing goes, in America, I think a lot of people would say for anyone listening that it's great to like network with planners and, see if they can refer you to their clients, all that kind of stuff. With you in Australia or just in other countries where America's just like, I just feel like it's a whole different wedding scene, and it's a whole very specific like type of wedding scene. For other countries and Australia included specifically, what would you say would be like your advice if someone wanted to network in person? Venues?
Venues is good, like getting on a preferred so I'm on probably 15 preferred vendor lists here in Adelaide.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't lead to that many bookings.
Mm.
You'd need and like it's always good to get in with venues, and there are some vendors in Adelaide that do very, very well from preferred vendor lists. But I'm a unique hire. I'm not a
You're a personality hire.
yeah, I'm a personality hire. Like, so I don't do well on a book. Like if I just put an album on a
Oh,
table
shoot.
at a venue,
Here, wait,
they
pause 1 sec.
that's all right.
Sorry, my camera battery just died. 1 sec. Let me swap this. I can pick us back up,
No,
but
that's all right.
we don't have to leave the call, but we need to pick up with the same energy. So I'm gonna segue back into like, oh, you're a personality hire. But
Yeah.
let me swap this out real fast.
My energy doesn't waver. So
Yeah, that's good. It's easy. Let me my husband handles these things, so let me see where the battery is real quick. Hey Jake, where's the backup battery? Okay, just connect back up. Oh no, I mean, easy to talk to, but boom. I think, yeah, that's the right camera. Easy. We're in. Cool. Okay, it's still recording. Sweet. Okay, we'll just segue back in. I might even just say that the camera died. That way, it doesn't. If it clips awkwardly, I might rather just admit it. Adios. Okay, we are back after a brief pause because my camera died. But basically, I was saying with hiring you, you're basically kind of like a personality hire. So hiring you is a specific thing. I understand how it wouldn't really work on necessarily a pamphlet or like a vendor list.
So like being a preferred vendor and reaching out to venues and all that sort of stuff is great, and it's definitely something you should be trying to do because you need to get the rule of 7, which I'll talk about in a second, which is like the 7 points of marketing touching. But I like me being a personality hire and me having a larger personality and making people feel comfortable isn't going to translate by putting it on a photo album and putting it, like people go to a venue and they look through an album, they'll see my photos and they'll be like, what the fuck is happening here? Because like we shoot on like a fisheye lens and we like get photos of people doing stupid stuff, and we have like people riding their husbands into the venue, and sometimes that will transfer, but a lot of the time, if you're looking at a venue and you're just looking to get a photographer to take good photos, probably not going to do that. So if you're somebody like me and you'd like to have fun and you're going to bring a lot of energy, then you need to market yourself where people can actually see your energy and they can actually see your fucking creativity and they can see your personality. That's the word I'm looking for. So they can see your personality, and that's where like creating some behind the scenes content of you doing stupid stuff with your couples and then running that as a Facebook ad is going to book you fucking heaps more weddings than putting an album in every single venue in your town. But being on the preferred vendor list helps with the marketing rule of 7, where every client needs to have 7 interactions with a brand before they'll consider taking an action. So they need to see you 7 times. This comes from so I did a lot of drop shipping and stuff before. So I was able to book, like my first year I booked 30 weddings. My next year I booked 60 weddings. After that I booked 90 weddings, and then we're 100 plus. So we very quickly built a business because I took all of my drop shipping and online marketing and like actually trying to get people to buy some cheap thing on the internet and put it straight into wedding photography. So yeah, you need the rule of 7. They need to have 7 interactions with your brand before they'll consider taking an action. So that's before they'll think about making an inquiry, not booking. That's not, they need to see you 7 times. So that could be seeing you tagged on a social media post with somebody else. That could be seeing your name on the preferred vendor list somewhere. That could be somebody getting, word of mouth telling you something. That could be seeing your name on an expo, not even going to the expo, but seeing your name at an expo, and then Facebook ads and something like that. So they'll see it 7 times and then they can consider taking an action. So being on a preferred vendor list is going to help in that way because you're automatically getting that social credibility of like, oh wow, the venue likes them and I saw them here. Oh great, now I'm sitting on the toilet and I've seen a Facebook ad. I'm ready to book.
Yeah, that's so smart. I think a lot of photographers just don't even really market much at all. I think they just think like, "Hey, I'm gonna post a pretty picture and a pretty person's gonna book me and life will be good." And it's
Mm.
just not that simple, you know? But man, Josh, we've been talking for quite a minute now. And I just want to ask to kind of wrap this up. I want to ask if you had one tip, because truly, I feel like one, you guys need to just go find him online and watch his videos. They're hilarious. But if you had one tip when it comes to marketing, you clearly know what you're doing when it comes down to business. When it comes down to marketing, if you had one tip that you could give like a photographer that wants to book, high volume weddings right now, what would you love to tell them?
You've got 6 months to get good at Facebook ads before they completely ruin it. So currently
Mm.
they're about to change Facebook ads. I'm really annoyed about it. But
Oh my
um,
gosh.
so you know how currently in Facebook ads you can target people based on where they live and their engagement status. So you can literally target the people in your area that are engaged. Like you
Mm.
can filter by age, by gender, by like what they enjoy to do on the weekend. But you can literally go like, I live in Georgia, and I want people that are aged between 20, not any younger than 20 because they normally don't have any money, but between 20, and they're not getting married. Like, no, but not that many people are getting married at 18.
Hey,
Uh,
maybe in Georgia.
maybe in Georgia,
That's the South.
the deep South. Where was my? Oh, never mind. I made an incest joke on a wedding once, but I can't remember which state it was. But you can target people between like age of 20 and 34, 35, whatever your ideal client is. Then you can target them by their engagement status. So you can literally check relationship engaged. And then that will
Wow.
also transfer to their Instagram account. I do have a Facebook ads course on it. It's probably going to
Ooh.
work for about 6 months. And then they're currently trying to transfer everybody over to this new wave where they're going to pick who your ads go in front of, which fucking sucks
Yeah.
because they're going to show your ads to like people that like wedding photography, not engaged couples. But we've been using that for years and years and years. That's what I would be doing. But also, like in that ad, you've got to showcase your personality. Like, don't just put up a picture and be like, this also goes to Facebook groups. So depending on when you're listening to this episode, if it is after 6 months, I'm sorry, but the next thing would be Facebook groups, like your
Mm.
local wedding photography or your local wedding Facebook group. Every single country, town, state will have one. Like we've got one here called Adelaide Wedding Chit Chat. It's great. It's where everybody goes to get all of the information. Comment on every single one of those posts looking for a photographer. Every single one.
Mm.
So many people go like, "Oh, I went on there, but there was like 40 comments." Like, oh well, like you're not marketing to the person that's made the post. You're making your comment for the 13 to 18 other brides that are reading the comment section that won't make a post of their own. Uh,
That's smart.
so, and in that itself, make a good fucking post. So we did when I first started. The Facebook groups would be like, hey, I'm looking for a photographer on this date. And everybody would just comment like, love for you to see what I do. And then their wedding link and maybe a photo. And
Mm.
every single person would just comment that. So everybody was the same. Everything was just a whole bunch of links. And I was like, well, that sucks. Like, this is your ad. You're literally getting the opportunity to put your brand and your business and your everything that you have in front of the couple. You need to make it as impactful as possible. So
Mm.
I wrote a little blurb like, hey, Josh here, just check my calendar, got that date available. I'd fucking love to be there. We focus on candid photos and all that sort of stuff. And then I made a 30-second vertical video because everybody's going to be looking at it on their phone. I made a 30-second vertical video on my camera with on-camera audio. It's absolutely atrocious. And I just said like, hey, thank you so much. I've actually checked my calendar. I'm available that day. I would love to come to your wedding. We focus on fun. If you want photos that look like this, and then I flashed like 15 photos over the video while I was talking, like I'd love to be there. I've checked my date. I'm just a photographer from Adelaide, like just had a daughter. I'd love to come and hang out, blah, 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 blah.
Mm,
Sold myself in a 30-second video. And then I attached that to my comment with my
mm.
blurb that had my Facebook link and my Instagram link. And then I replied to myself and I would add 5 photos to my reply. So as soon as anybody looks at that post, they're like, fuck, look at this guy. Look at all of this
Yeah.
stuff. They've already seen 20 photos in the space that everybody else has put one, and you're still giving them the same information of the link. Do that. I reckon that Facebook group used to make me at least $90,000 a year.
That's amazing. So slept on. I barely even get on Facebook. This is amazing for anyone listening that, you know, maybe I need to get on Facebook. Who knows? Oh man. But no, there's a ton of people that are actually like present on Facebook too. Like why not do that kind of stuff? And if
That's
you're
where
listening and you're new, it's like that's genius.
That's
Did you
the like mark. It's like it's where people go. So like you go to social, you go to Instagram to scroll, you go to TikTok to scroll, you go to
Yeah.
Facebook to actually learn something, which sounds so bad to say out loud, but that's where
Yeah.
you go to. It's like a community board. It's like your
Yeah.
town's community board that you used to go and put up your like guitar lesson thing. That is now Facebook, and that's where it's all happening in those groups.
My community that we have, that's the like paid membership, the podcast, like the free, just, fun thing that I love to do. But summer school, the community, I honestly, when I was creating it, I was like, this is kind of like a Facebook group, like a really advanced, super souped up Facebook group because it's kind of structured almost similarly. Like there's different sections and you can comment on people's threads and like engage with other members and you could go privately DM them if you want to. I'm like, it's kind of like Facebook group, I guess,
Mm,
but way more advanced and has way more features. But similarly to just like the fact that opportunities are being put in front of you, you might as well capitalize on them. Do you remember, and maybe you don't use HoneyBook, but do you use HoneyBook? First question.
no, I use Studio Ninja.
Okay. Well, HoneyBook used to have a section on the platform called opportunities, and it would just pop in like honestly like a notification in your inbox of your like HoneyBook client managing system. And people could post like looking for a second shooter, looking for this, looking
Oh,
for
that's
that.
sick.
I freaking loved it, especially when I was first starting. I downloaded HoneyBook and I'm like, oh my God, like it was only also recommending things in your area. I don't know why
Mm,
they got rid of this feature because it was so cool, but I'm like 99.9% sure this is not a feature anymore. And I created something just very similar in summer school, which as it grows, hopefully will help people more and more. Because as of now, it's kind of broad. Someone from North Carolina might post in it, but like maybe there's only 3 people on the East Coast that are
mm,
members. But I just made like a help wanted section because even for second shooters and stuff, a lot of people aren't in the Facebook groups these days and they're not engaging those ways anymore. So, yeah, there's like similar structure to that. I have a help wanted section in the community where people can post like looking for a second shooter, looking for this, looking for that. But I thought HoneyBook was dope. I'm like, this is paying for my CRM membership right now. The fact that
mm.
I can literally connect with the community and get paid gigs just from having the like being a member of HoneyBook. But I don't know why they got rid of that. That was a cool feature. But
Yeah, that is it.
anyways, just little rant about a feature that used to exist on a platform. But it was cool. If you remembered it too, you'd be like, yeah, that was sick. But I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. They're launching a million things these days. I don't know why
Yeah,
they
they
didn't
just brought
keep
out like a
that
whole
feature.
AI thing, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah. I did like a whole podcast episode on it. I will say, which I'm sure, I don't know this for sure, but I bet the feature that I enjoy, I bet there's some sort of plugin I could do like without HoneyBook to still do like a very similar thing. But this feature's been around for a long time, but the AI like note taking. So basically if I send my client a meeting link, AI will join. They can join with Google Meet or Zoom, so whatever you're using. And it transcribes the whole call because it's in the meeting with you, the probably like a chat GPT stem
Mm.
off. And then since it's embedded through HoneyBook in your HoneyBook like notes section, I'm sure in Student Ninja you have like a notes section where you can take notes for your projects and stuff. It'll recap the whole meeting. So I don't have to take a single note. I don't have to like remember anything. It literally just like recaps it all and then bullet points and tells me what I need to do to follow up and all the things. I'm like, this is kind of great because during a meeting you don't want to be just like typing. But
Mm.
anyways, this is not a HoneyBook ad right now.
No, my notes
But it's
after
a
a
cool
Zoom call are like
feature.
3 things. It's like brother-in-law, gay, wedding in a church. Don't talk to dad. And then I go back in like a year's time, and I'm like, what am I reading?
You're like, why did I write this?
Why do I care about the brother-in-law being gay?
Have you ever had someone actually get mad at you at a wedding? I would love to know.
Not really. I'm pretty big.
Okay.
It normally happens after the fact, and like people like DM me. I got a whole bunch
Because it's like
of death
maybe
threats
like
recently.
an aunt's like offended or something, or like.
Some people will get, and I'm sure I probably have annoyed lots of people, but no one will ever say it to me. I mean, you're more than welcome to come up and say it to me if for some reason you're listening to this, if you're an Australian wedding guest and you don't like it. But like, there are some people that are like, but you've also got to go into it with like, we say it in a joking manner. I'm not actually angry at people and telling them to get out of the way. It's like, said
all
with
in
a
good
joking
fun.
manner, and then we laugh after the fact. And it's also very Australian.
Yeah. In Australia, they're probably all just like, yeah, this guy's great.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
people come up and they're like, we wish we had you for our photographer. And like, you know how family photos are the worst part of every wedding day? Like, because you just got to stand there and you just smile, and it's like takes 25, 30 minutes of just like the worst portraits of the world. Every single wedding we get comments on like, wow, he's so bossy. I love how quickly he gets through this. Because I'm like, get in, smile, and just get the fuck out of the way. Because I like my couple doesn't want to be here. Like they don't want to stand here. They just stood for 30 minutes in the ceremony. It's really, really hot outside. We don't want to stand here for 45 minutes while mum fuck asses around and like puts everybody into different positions. Like get in, smile, and just get out. Like let's get this done. Every wedding we got comments on how quickly and how well we can do it. So
I love it. You need to come shoot one in America just because I want to know. I want to know if like, you know, the stepmom like choose your ear off or something, you know.
We get that. We get in the mornings is normally when I figure out who's going to be the pain in my ass. And they're normally the ones that I work on the most to tell them like, you don't need to do this. As soon as somebody tells me how to take a photo in the morning, I'm like, no. Shh. Listen, this is my job.
Absolutely loved my last wedding, but and my couples are photographers. Maybe they listen to this. I don't mean this in any bad sort of way, but the dad, he was into photography in the past. I have no idea, but he like really watched and observed and even like kind of followed. And I'm like, oh shoot, like it started making me nervous. I was like, this man, he's following me around, like stay. But he was very sweet, so it was fine. But he kind of scared me, and I told the couple. That's why I'm like, I don't care if they hear this, because I literally told them, I was like, your dad kind of scares me. Like honestly, he is like, he's everywhere at all times. I feel like he's watching me like a hawk. But he was also so sweet, so it doesn't even matter. But it was definitely like intimidating. I was like, sir,
I could not imagine someone telling me how to do my job, that like actually knowing what they're doing. I get like mums being like, you should really take the photo over here in this corner, and it's like some dark corner of the house.
And you're like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm actually probably going to take it over here near the window because that's where all the light is. She's like, oh, do you want me to turn all the lights on for you? And they're like that yellow, terrible light.
No.
I'm like, no, that's fine. I can figure it out. Yeah, that's as bad as it gets.
Man, well, this has been such a blast. Tell us before we wrap up. I know that you have a really cool workshop thing happening soon. Is it soon?
Soonish. It's about to go live. I'm about to launch it. When am I launching it? Oh, this week sometime. So it will be up before the podcast comes out. Yeah, it's called Wedding Mania. It's currently it's a 3-day workshop, but last night I had a couple of glasses of red wine. I was like, maybe I should make it a 5-day workshop. That could be better. But we actually pay for couples to get married. So rather than going to a workshop and it's just a styled shoot and you just take photos of pretty things sat on the side of the road or whatever, we bring you to real weddings so that you've actually got real wedding experience under your belt. So that when you go and shoot your own weddings, you've actually got, like the experience. So last year we paid for 3 couples to get married and we did 3 weddings on the same day, and they were all an hour and a half apart, and then we had one big joint reception. This year it looks like we're doing 2 weddings over 2 different days, and then we have at the third day is all classes, and like you learn from some of the biggest influencers in Australia. So we've got myself, we've got Mike Jeffrey, we've got the wedding painter, who's like the biggest wedding painter in Australia, and then we've got also Dawn Photography, or Tash, and she's fucking great too. So we all come together and then like teach classes and teach you how to do everything, and
So
Yeah, that's all
fun.
on the third day.
That's so fun. That's so sick. Honestly, when you were originally just like talking about it and like you shot 3 different weddings on one day and then you had one big reception, I was like, someone needs to turn this into like a Netflix show. It would
Yeah,
be a good show. That
it
would be
would.
a fun show.
It was, in hindsight, putting everybody together for one big reception, heaps better idea on paper. Actually quite terrifying now that I think about it after the fact that we just brought like 3 different weddings from like 3 different families and their friends, and we put them all in the same confined space, and I gave them all free alcohol. And we were like, "Oh, this will go well. This will be fine." Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was actually okay. Like, it was actually it went off without a hitch, which is fantastic.
Were you
Um,
worried at all about how to help people understand how to shoot a wedding while a couple is also getting this free short wedding that's their real wedding
mm.
day? Like that's a lot
So
to
we and everybody, all the couples knew, but
yeah.
it's all for
But
people
that's
that,
still a lot, you know?
yeah. So we also gave all of the couples the opportunity to tap out at any point. So every wedding had 10 photographers there to come and do photos. And
Mm,
then if at any point they were like, this is too much, like I'm overstimulated, or this is all getting a little bit too much, I'm getting too stressed, they just had to. So every wedding had its own educator with it. So the educator was the main shooter, and then the wedding guests, not the wedding guests, the workshop guests were like the associates, the backups, the second shooters. But at any point, they could just tap the educator and be like, "Hey, man, I just need a break." And then all of the
yeah.
photographers had to leave, and they all had to kind of go out. So
Did these free weddings have, like, bridal parties too and
yeah, they
stuff?
had bridal party. So we
Wow.
did. They had 20 guests each. They got their own personal ceremony with their own private vows. They could have their ceremony however they wanted. I paid for the venue, I paid for food, for drink, for the celebrant, for the legal fees, for the cake, and for the flowers. Well,
Wow.
the cake and the flowers and all of the other vendors stuff, they all kind of donated, but the food and everything I paid for. And then they had their own private wedding ceremony with 20 of their favorite family and friends and their own wedding party. And then we took them up to, there's a forest over here in Adelaide, and they went and did all their bridal party photos up there while the next people were getting married. So then, like, they were off having their photos, and then the second wedding came in and we did their ceremony, and then they went up to the forest. And then while everybody else was in the forest, the third wedding came in and we did that wedding ceremony. And then they did their
Mm.
photos on site. And then we had a big joint
So was it
reception.
30 attendees then? 10 in each individual wedding? Or was it 10 photographers that shot 3 weddings in one day?
So no, we had 60 photographers in total.
Holy smokes,
Yeah.
that's
So it was like 15 per
crazy.
15 to 16 per group, essentially. And then some stayed with me.
Man, I just can't imagine planning all of this. I'm like,
Yep.
your brain, I know that it's very smart, but this is like another level of workshop.
Yeah. And that's what, so I brought this up. So I'm in are you Aftershoot or Imogen? Imagine.
I am
Free agent.
I am who knows what I am right now.
I'm a free agent. So I'm in a group chat with a whole bunch of Aftershoot people.
Yeah.
I just won't say Aftershoot that much if I don't have to. But I'm in the with Aftershoot, like with Sondra and Kelly and Justin's in there, and there's a whole bunch of us that I
I
met
know
them in
some of
Peru.
them
Yeah,
just from like in-person networking. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm in a
Yeah.
group chat with all of them, and I had this idea when I was at an engagement party. I was like, we should host a workshop, but it's a real wedding, not a styled shoot. It's a real wedding, and they were all like, "Nah, that'd never happen. That would never happen." And I was like, "Nah, there's fucking something to this." And then I mulled on it for like 6 months in my head, and I was like, there has to be a way. So I sent a couple of voice memos to my friends that like are venue managers here, and I was like, hey, I've got this stupid idea. Can I borrow your venue? I want to pay for a couple of people to get married. And they were like, yeah. And then I messaged Matt, the celebrant, who was actually just ringing me. Uh, and I was like, hey, man, I've got this idea. And he's like, you know, I'm always up for your stupid ideas, Josh. Like, whatever you want. And then so he does all the legal bit, the venue does all the venue bit, I did all the photographer bit. Uh, yeah, and then so in that is so you also get real wedding in your portfolio, but then we also do engagement shoots every night as well. So we did 2 days of classes beforehand, where we did like I brought 6 couples on and we did engagement shoots at nighttime. So you get all of the content from the 6 engagement shoots, and then you also get the entire wedding portfolio as well. So, and they're all real couples that come from my Instagram. So you're always actually learning how to pose real people rather than just like a model standing like this, which will transfer
Yeah.
really well on an audio platform. But if you're watching the video, I look fantastic.
Oh, I just can't imagine me planning my summer camp with like one couple and one model, and I was already overwhelmed in some capacities. So I literally can't imagine, but I think it sounds so cool. And if you ever do one in America, hit me up. You should
That's
do an American version of this.
yeah.
That would be so cool.
And I get so many people asking me to do stuff like this over there, or in the UK, we get a lot of people asking us to go over there as well.
Yeah.
It's like in Australia, actually, well, this is currently the first of its kind anywhere in the world. But
Yeah. No, literally.
we're trying to build a workshop industry here in Australia because there really isn't one at the moment. I know there's a big one in America. Like there's a workshop pretty much every day of the week somewhere in the world or somewhere in
Hmm.
America. But yeah, I'd be definitely keen, especially because you got so many planners over there. I could just come up with the idea and just bring a planner on board
Yeah.
and they just do it.
Yeah. Hopefully they would like do it in budget. Hopefully
Yeah,
you get some sponsors
it's
and
for
you'll be fine.
charity. It's for we're giving
Yeah.
it to other people.
Yeah. Oh, so cool. Well, if you do one in America, let me know. Maybe I can help you.
Yeah,
That would
done.
be super fun. Summer camp times, Josh, and we're going to be hosting some free weddings. That sounds like a
Yeah, it's
blast.
gonna be a busy
I mean,
weekend.
it sounds terrifying, but it sounds like really fun to observe.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can be the
man.
second shooter. I'll be the main shooter, and I'll just deal with all
Exactly.
of the chaos. And
Yes.
you just hang out, take some film photos. I used to try. I used
Easy.
to bring film cameras to weddings, but I moved too quickly, and I just couldn't do it
Mm,
anymore.
no, 100%. I feel that. I mean, even I bought like a nice medium format, and the lab was like, "How do you like it?" And I'm like, "Oh, I really need it to autofocus
Mm,
because I just feel like weddings are too fast, or at least mine are,
mm,
or at least my style is not that. I'm not maybe as fast as a lot of photographers, but I'm also not that like fly on the wall photo documentary, like slow. I'm just not that. So I just need to be able to take the photo, especially you don't want to miss a moment. Like moments happen fast, they don't happen slow, you
mm.
know? So I haven't used it that much. And I probably need to sell it and get a different camera, but we'll see. Who knows?
I just bought the Canon EOS 1N, which has been great because I
Mm.
can use all of my old
Yeah, all of
glass.
your, yeah, I sold my old glass, which I regret.
I have never sold anything that I bought as a wedding photographer. I have every single
That is
camera and every
so
single lens.
fun. I live in LA in not the biggest place. So there would not be
This
enough room
shelf
if I did
has
that.
there's like 60 film cameras on these 2 shelves, the top 2.
And you don't even shoot it.
Not anymore. They just sit there. But one day I'm going to build, once my kids are older and we get rid of the playroom, like, because I got a kids room at the moment, but that's where my office is going to be. And I'm going to fill the entire wall with all of
Mm.
my cameras. And that way I'll be able to track like my entire career of cameras just on the
Oh,
wall, and all the lenses and stuff.
that'd be really cool. You could even do like a fun giveaway one day if you didn't have
Well, yeah, I was going to
one
give
that
away
really
my
meant
85
much to
1.4
you.
or something because I don't use that. But then I bought this film
Yeah,
camera and I'm like, well, maybe I will now.
that would look good on a film camera,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah. Man, well, it has been so fun. Tell everyone where they can find you if they don't know who you are. Like, it's going to be
I'm
in the
Josh
show
Huggett.
notes. It'll be everywhere, but Josh Huggett on everything.
Yeah, if you just Google Josh Huggett, HUGGETT, I'd come up fucking anywhere, which is great. Great for
Perfect.
SEO and stuff. But yeah, I'm Josh Huggett. Just come and somebody bring me to America. Justin,
Hey,
after
I
shoot,
think
bring
it'll
me to
happen.
America.
I was about to say, like, they could easily help you
Yeah,
do a workshop here.
yeah.
Easily.
It's more
Man.
like, because I've been asked to come to like WPPI and stuff as well, but that's my peak season.
Yeah.
It's in March and I shoot
March?
30 weddings in
Yeah.
March. So I don't really have time.
Yeah. That would be fun. I was at WPI this year and last year. We would love. That would be so fun. I feel like you in Vegas, this would be a blast.
I had the vendor table and Lauren Ashley and Justin all sending me selfies, giving me the finger, saying "fuck you" for being in Australia. So that was great.
Did you meet all of them in Peru?
Nope, just Justin.
Oh,
I just talked
sweet.
to Lauren and I talked to other Lauren and Mike as well. So I took, and like Justin Porter, all of my photography friends, apart from Mike Jeffrey, all live in America.
Yeah. Maybe you're just destined to end up here for
Yeah,
an
I
extended
feel like
period of time.
I feel like if I was in America, someone would murder me pretty quickly. I don't think I'd last that long.
No. No, well, that would actually be wild. Your first wedding in America and you get like
Just
sued.
get shot.
We're not going to say shot, but maybe like sued. That would also be
Sued.
very
I actually
unfortunate.
absolutely would get sued.
Yeah.
So we don't
Do
sue people in Australia.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah. People do that in America. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I've already had, well, that would be TMI for the pod, but I've already had my fair share of, they weren't from wedding clients, but just, yeah, I've had to hire lawyers before. It was unfortunate, but
Literally nobody sues anybody in
the
Australia.
wedding industry
ever.
is psychotic over here, you know?
We don't
Yeah.
we don't sue people here. We just get see. This goes back to what I said right at the start. America just needs to calm the fuck down. Just
That
chill
needs
out.
to be the title. That'll be the title of this episode.
Josh
America.
says America calm the fuck down. But just in general, you get one life. What's the point of being so stressed about everything all the time?
Honestly, yeah.
You know, walking down the street, scared someone's going to sue you.
Hey, I mean, maybe I need to move to Australia. Maybe that's what we're learning here.
It's a great place to be.
I need to make it over the pond.
Yeah.
Over the pond.
It's only
To you
like
guys and
38
New
hours
Zealand.
with a baby on the plane. It'll be fine.
Man, I'm supposed to be teaching at a workshop in Italy this fall, and I guess I haven't like traveled for real in quite a while, I guess. And I looked up the flight because everyone's going to Europe, you know. And I looked up the flight and it said 16 hours, and I was like, "Oh God, I don't want to do that. Why would I want to go to Italy?" But I don't know. I am excited. It'll be fun, and I'll tell everyone about it once it's announced and stuff. But it'll be fun, and I like teaching other people's things. Maybe sometimes more than even hosting some of my own. It's just 'cause it's easy, and it'll be a good time. But yeah, no, 16-hour flight. God, I'm not looking forward to it.
No.
No.
And you can't even do it the fun way. When I went to Peru, that was 38 hours to get there. But I just took like 4 sleeping pills, and then I told the bartender, not the bartender, he was a bartender, but the flight attendant, he really liked me. And every time he walked past my table, he'd just drop another glass of red wine there. So I had like 8 glasses of red wine, 4 sleeping pills, and I woke up in Peru.
That's amazing. That's
you can't
the
do that
hack
with the
right
baby.
there.
It's far harder with the baby.
No. Hopefully she's staying here. I don't know. Who knows?
You've got so much time to figure that out. It's at least 3 months.
We'll figure that out later. I don't know. It's complicated now because she needs to go where the milk is, so she comes everywhere. But hopefully by then we will have enough stockpiled that I can leave for a week. But a week's a long time in baby time, so we'll see. But anyways, I need to come to Australia or New Zealand, but I will wrap all this up for everyone listening. This has been so much fun. Super long episode, but I knew that this would be just a good chat with you. So this was great. If you guys love summer school, go ahead, share this with a friend who might find this entertaining, who might genuinely want to listen to it, because there's tons of marketing tips just packed throughout this episode. And if you care to, which would mean a lot, go ahead and leave a review on whatever you're listening to, or, you know, connect with us further. Go ahead and find Josh, find his workshop, do whatever you want to do. And if you aren't a member of Summer School, the community, it would mean the world if you go ahead and subscribe. Like the mentorships I said, Summer School students, members, whatever you are, they get 25 to 30% off of mentoring. So if you're interested and you just want like a good deal, come join our fun community that's only $40 and you get 30% off mentorships. So it'll be a good time. Go connect, and I will catch you guys next week. Bye.